Afternoon. For those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to meet, my name is Kimber Hill. I've had the privilege of serving as the city manager since December of 2021. I want to let you know that Mayor Bilski sends her sincere regrets for being unable to be here today. Her husband is having an emergency medical test and she really needed to be with him. So I'm sure you'll join me in keeping them in your thoughts and prayers. So when I found out this morning at about 8:30 that I was going to be doing this presentation, I spent the morning putting the information together to go along with the slides. So I hope that I accurately communicate the message intended by Mayor Bilski. A taxpayer. A taxpayer is not dependent on us. We are dependent on them. It is not an interruption of our work. It is the purpose of it. Is doing us a favor by letting us serve all of your needs. Is not an outsider to our business, it's part of it. A taxpayer is the most important person in the world to us. I would like to ask the city officials to stand, if any are present. The city council is made up of 7 people, the mayor and council positions 1 through 6. We have Councilwoman Curry. Thank you for joining us today. Then I'd like to recognize any boards and commission members we have here today. Know that we have Colonel Brooks that serves on the EDC, Ruth Brooks on the planning. Thank you for being here and for all you do for our community. We have 26 members. We have 66 staff members. I would like to ask our leadership team to stand. Pictured here from the left is our Assistant City Manager, Planning Director, Mike Barrow, here on the front table. Sandra Brablick, our City Secretary. Patrick Parsons, our Public Works Director. Vaughn Mackey, Municipal Court Administrator. Jennifer Matura, our Finance and HR Director. Next to her is Tim Kerwin, our City Attorney, who's been with us since 2019. Chief Grimes in his first year. Me, and then I also want to say that our CVB EDC director, Bill, was not able to attend on our photo day, so I also want to recognize him, and I want to thank he and Catherine for all of the work they worked with Mayor to put this entire presentation together. And thank you, Captain Risky, for being here today. I want to recognize our leadership team for their professionalism, dedication, and steadfast commitment to serving our community every day. Historical content matters. We learn from our history, measuring our progress while building upon a legacy of civic strength and community pride. The mayor wanted to ensure that we take a moment to recognize our public works staff. Public Works plays a critical role in protecting the public health and safety of our taxpayers. While the police department is often most visible, part of that responsibility, much of the behind-the-scenes work is completed by the Public Works. Their work is highly specialized. Many of our employees are licensed and certified in their respective fields, and we are fortunate to have a team of experienced, knowledgeable, and dedicated professionals. They have worked extremely hard since 2021 to bring all of our systems into compliance. Prior to that time, violations and fines had become too common. Through their diligence, professionalism, and commitment, that is no longer the norm. In fact, I don't think that we've actually had a fine since 2022. So thank y'all for that. These 2 slides demonstrate the extensive daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual mandatory reporting requirements. In addition to that, they work 7 days a week, 365 days a year, morning and night, logging and inspecting the condition of every single part of the city's infrastructure to make sure that we are on track and operations are optimum. You can move to the next slide. On behalf of the City Council, the Mayor issues proclamations to recognize and honor city staff, community partners, and significant community initiatives throughout the year. The proclamation shown here recognizes National Public Works Week. Similar proclamations are presented in recognition of Police Week, Municipal Court Week, Municipal Clerk Week, National Safe Digging Month, which is called 811 Day, National Volunteer Month, and other observances that celebrate the individuals and organizations serving our community. The city expresses its appreciation for the dedication, professionalism, and service of those who help make Sealy a great place to live and work. The voters of Sealy adopted the city's home rule charter in 1996, establishing a council-manager form of government. Under this form of government, the city council is responsible for establishing policy and adopting ordinances, while the city manager is responsible for the administration of those policies and laws. The charter establishes the city's election procedures, council term limits, and the duties and responsibilities of the elected and appointed officials. As required by the charter, it is subject to review every 5 years. The next Charter Review Commission is scheduled to convene in 2027 to evaluate whether any recommendations are necessary for council's consideration. Any changes to the charter do require an election and approval by the voters. This slide simply illustrates the incorporated city limits, which is highlighted in yellow, and the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction highlighted with the dotted black line. The next several slides focus on the city's general fund. This finances many of the core government services: the police department, the streets and drainage, the municipal court, finance, planning, building services, parks and recreation, and overall city administration. The water, wastewater, and natural gas and the economic development services are funded and administered separately and under different statutory and financial requirements. So understanding these distinctions is important because each fund has specific revenue sources and legal restrictions. This slide illustrates the primary revenue sources of the general fund, with property tax and sales tax both being about 30%, and highlights the importance of sales tax revenue for ongoing operations of the city. A widely recognized best practice for municipalities is to maintain at least a 90-day fund balance. The unassigned balance provides financial stability, strengthens the city's ability to respond to emergencies, and helps maintain service levels during periods of economic uncertainty. As you can see, fiscal year 2021 closed with an unassigned fund balance of approximately $300,000. While daily operations cost roughly $23,000, that means 2021 ended with only about 13 days in the bank. Since that time, we've made rebuilding the city's financial position a priority. Year after year, we have nearly doubled the unassigned fund balance at the close of each fiscal year. By fiscal year 2024, the city met and exceeded the recommended 90-day reserve benchmark. I think that was the first in almost a 10-year period where we had actually met that benchmark. We closed the last fiscal year, 2025, with an unassigned fund balance of approximately $5.4 million. So from $300,000 to $5.4 million. Thank you, our leadership team and our elected officials. Maintaining a healthy unassigned fund balance is critical to our long-term financial health. It's going to provide us the flexibility to address unexpected capital needs, respond to natural disasters or economic downturns, and we're going to go over in a few minutes some of the emergencies that we're having with our facilities due to their age, as well as the ongoing replacement of our critical infrastructure just due to years of deferred maintenance in all of those areas. So we've accomplished what we have through conservative budgeting, increased revenue, and operational discipline. The city's revenue performance supports long-term decision-making and responsible planning. Each year, we've received the Distinguished Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association as a result of our annual audit findings. Many of the city's buildings and infrastructure require significant maintenance and capital improvements. For years, those projects were deferred due to the limited financial resources. While we've made substantial progress over the past 2 years as we worked to increase the fund balance so that we could get these projects accomplished, we still have a lot of work to do. Mayor wanted to make sure that you saw that City Hall was built in 1968, and we're going through some things there because we have the aging plumbing. The building was built with the CMU, or the concrete walls. It was not designed for the occupancy and the use burden that demand we've been putting on it over the past 5 to 10 years. So these office spaces that were designed for one person now have 2, 3, 4, even 5 employees per one office space. Now we've had to demolish one of the restrooms to repair or replace the plumbing, and that list just goes on and on and on. You know how it is if you've ever remodeled a home. The strengths, the strong financial position. Since 2021, we've achieved the strong financial position, and we have achieved and retained our A+ credit rating. We've experienced healthy economic development growth with expansions by Highland Copper, Sika, and Walmart Distribution Center. Our tax base continues to grow. Sealy has a strong financial foundation to sustain essential services, advance capital projects, and plan confidently for the future. This slide just gives you an overview of Sealy's retail trade area. And the next one shows the overall sales tax performance. We did have a spike in both local and remote sales tax 2 months this year due to a one-time industrial purchase, which skewed our numbers to the good. Of course, those numbers will not be included in the projections for revenue next year. We are safeguarding that money for some of the projects now that came up as emergencies during this current fiscal year. Next slide shows you the operational cost by fund type, followed by fund allocations within the general fund, always showing the prioritizing of public safety for our community. This shows you highlights that demonstrate our police officers do far more than respond to emergencies. They protect public safety, engage with the community, support quality of life, and work proactively to reduce public safety risk before they become incidents. Mayor asked that we remind the community that due to the HVAC emergency, the police department has relocated to the City Hall complex on Main Street. They have a new business hour phone number, which is shown on the screen. The after hours number does remain the same. Is that correct, Chief? Animal control is managed by the police department. They play an important role in our community, and we are very fortunate to have the dedicated and caring animal control officer who serves our community. The next slide highlights the city's responsibility for emergency preparedness and planning and coordination that occur behind the scenes with the Public Works Department, the Police Department, and other community emergency service or emergency response partners. The city also participates in a multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan that identifies potential hazards that we feel are a threat to the city of Sealy, and it outlines action plans to reduce or eliminate those risks. Our primary focus for Sealy has been drainage. Maintaining this plan does help the city remain eligible for grant opportunities for these mitigation plans that were identified in the project. Mayor Bilski has made severe weather preparedness a priority and wanted to include this slide as a reminder to everyone to be prepared. Residents are encouraged to keep essential emergency supplies on hand, and local businesses are encouraged to help promote preparedness by reminding their customers to do the same. This slide gives a glimpse of the past while reminding us of the importance of staying active today. Mayor Bilski is a strong advocate for encouraging children to get outdoors, enjoy our public parks, and participate in healthy, active recreation. We're going to follow that with the fact that we have more and more children and families that are out using electric bicycles and scooters. So the City Council is taking steps to promote their safe and lawful operation. The council is in the process of adopting an ordinance that aligns with state law, establishes local regulations for the use of these devices, and is structured similar to our golf cart ordinance. So if you didn't know that we do have a golf cart ordinance and you have one, you can look that up on the city's website under the Muni Code tab. That ordinance is expected to become effective on August 19th, is intended to improve safety for the riders, motorists, and pedestrians throughout the community. Sealy continues to experience steady, sustainable growth as reflected by the estimated number of new homes constructed over the past year, shown on this slide. We all know that rooftops bring businesses, strengthening the local economy and expanding opportunities for our community. Another important safety reminder, at last night's meeting, City Council adopted a proclamation recognizing the National 811 Dig Safely Day. This proclamation serves as a reminder to always contact 811 before digging to help protect critical infrastructure, prevent injuries, and avoid costly damage to our essential infrastructure. Now I'm going to ask Catherine to run through several slides as I'm going to give you updates on the city's current capital improvement projects, those that are actively under construction, currently in design, or recently completed. We have our downtown well and water main project. That is complete. Generators for wells and sewer lift stations is complete. Repairs to the 3rd Street sewer lift station, complete. Our new Highway 36 sewer lift station is complete. Our Rexville Road water plant is in progress and is estimated to be completed by February of 2027. Our Mark A. Chapman BNPW parking expansion is at 90% design. We are excited about this parking expansion. Everybody who plays or has a kid who's playing knows that we have a need for it. We're also going to have dedicated parking for those who rent the BNPW Pavilion. It's one of our most popular rental facilities. So I think we're going to clear up a few of the problems and confusion that we have on these busy weekends. We also have the Mark A. Chapman BNPW Park Pond expansion project. Now this mitigation project was identified as a need in 2009, so that's how long it sometimes takes if you don't have the resources to get the project done. So I'm very pleased that this project was just recently awarded. That project is going to expand the pond by approximately 8 acres, and it's also going to expand the walking trail all the way around the new expansion. Those 8 acres were donated to the city by BSR as part of a development agreement for their expansion of approximately 1,000 new homes between their Hunter's Crossing development and their new housing development, which will be located off of Eagle Lake Road, adjoining or adjacent to the park. We also have our Jacqueline A. Cryan Park Pond expansion and walking path lighting project that is in progress. That one is to be completed very soon. We have our 7th Street water line and infrastructure project that is in progress. Our West Front Street infrastructure and improvements project. This is going to be a very, very large capital project undertaking for the city of Sealy. As we know, we have a lot of people that are using West Front Street as a bypass, and it's very narrow in some areas. So while we are working to widen it to the greatest width that we are able to, it will also improve the drainage. It's also going to improve sewer. It's also going to allow that sewer expansion is going to accommodate future growth as well as provide better service to our existing customers that run through that trunk line. We have the Allens Creek Trunk Sewer and Utility Improvement Project. This is another huge project and undertaking for the city of Sealy. This project is it's going to impact residents that live around Magnolia, Cathy Avenue, Tallbur, Terry Avenue, Brookside, Willow Street. Very, very large area of infrastructure replacement to mitigate some of the issues that we've had there over the past 10 years. Due to the city's many specialized engineering service needs, the city does contract with Strand Engineering. They have completed a master study of all of the city's critical infrastructure. They do our utility rate study. That's usually a 5-year study. I think we have another year remaining on that. Everything that we do has a study that justifies every decision that the council makes that's going to impact the taxpayers and the businesses. We coordinate with TxDOT to meet the city's maintenance and growth needs. Current projects, TxDOT projects include State Highway 36 repair and improvements, traffic signal updates you've probably noticed throughout town. We get very excited about something as small as a dedicated turn lane for those of us who live in town as we've been growing. Little things like that really do mean a lot for the community. We have a very exciting Loop 350 improvement project that they've just now expanded to include Gebhardt Road improvements that's going to improve, that part of the project will improve access to I-10 frontage from Gebhardt Road, where we always have that little bit of backup and potential for accidents there on Highway 36 at Gebhardt in front of Starbucks. And then they are also in the process of a long-term relief route study. That is in progress. They've held a couple of public meetings. They've narrowed it down to one recommendation, and more information on that will be released by TxDOT soon. And our assistant city manager, planning directors was very good about keeping that information updated on the city's website. Mayor did want to point out that the city has not received any updates from the Brazos River Authority's Allens Creek Reservoir project since her presentation last year. The next couple of slides is going to show city's major employers and community opportunities for workforce development, including the STEM program offered at Sealy High School, as well as the dual credit program and other educational opportunities provided by Blinn College, and how fortunate the city is to have their campus right here at the Sealy Outlet Center. The next, 4 slides are going to show you the city's current quality of life projects, our strong community, and our rich history. Then the city is going to once again extend a thank you to all of the residents and businesses who participated in the Sealy Community Spirit. And I want to recognize Laurie Tatum, who has put a lot of time and money and investment into restoring the farmhouse on Main. So her home is featured here. Thank you. Okay, Discover Sealy, the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So there's a lot of information on this slide. The easiest way to access the information is to pick up a copy of this magazine. Very exciting things going on. The next slide is going to be one of the big tourism promotion projects that we've been working on for the past year. And council appointed a committee to look at different designs for wayfinding signs, come up with a color scheme and an overall design for that project, which we presented last night. Now we're going to get some examples of what those signs would look like so they can continue with their review of the project. This project is very exciting because we fund this project through the use of hotel occupancy tax funds, and that's again one of the funding sources that is very, very, very restricted and limited in our ability to fund very many things for the city of Sealy. So be able to direct traffic off of I-10 and Highway 36 to tourist destinations in the areas of town that we hope that our visitors would enjoy while they're here is the goal of that project. And then we would be able to expand in the future for directing the community, new residents to other areas and important destinations such as the library and other things we might decide or a priority in the future. If council gives a directive to move in that direction, that would have to be funded from a different funding source. Here, I'd just like to take a moment to recognize the city's gratitude for our volunteers and benefactors. It's a very long list for me to stand here and read, and if you're interested in any of this information, to make sure that you're out there supporting these volunteers and nonprofits, please call and we're happy to give you that information. I want to say one thing back on that other screen. I'm sure we have the Bluebonnet Master Gardeners. And so we've had a problem with the fountain at City Hall. And our public works staff has worked tirelessly to continue to try to fix that fountain. And so we came up with a couple of options for council to consider. And before we could bring back a real plan of how do we want to tackle this, because we've got all of these other capital projects. So not that it wasn't equally important to us, but how do we honor Mr. Nowak and his contribution without destroying it? And all of a sudden one day we showed up to work and Renee was out there and she took it upon herself to improve that whole little courtyard area. We are so grateful. It's just really beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, if you'll just drive through the City Hall complex and take a look at it with all of the other maintenance and upkeep that she does for the city all over town. Very, very grateful for that little gift. What defines quality of life in Sealy? The mayor's provided what she feels makes Sealy the place that you would want to call home. You can move to the next slide. She expands on that. And while we're all here enjoying our quality of life in Sealy, we know that every 2 years, the Texas legislature meets to review and recommend new laws. So we never know how that's going to impact us at the city level. A lot of times we have a little bit of protection just because of our population number. So a lot of the laws are what we call bracketed. So you have to have a certain population in order for that to go into effect or impact your city. But we are growing, so we have to always be cautious and aware of what those new laws are to sort of start preparing for that before we get there, instead of just being reactive every time. So they are already meeting. She wanted to provide, if you'll go to the next screen, some of the forces that shape legislation. Probably everything that you would expect. And the big ticket item that we all are aware of right now, which they are already meeting and in discussion about, is data centers. The city is very limited on our ability to regulate, so it's going to be very helpful for them to establish laws and guidelines for cities to follow. Zoning exploration. So if you've lived here a long time, you know that zoning does require approval by election, approval of the voters by election. It has failed in the past. We had a workshop to explore this just prior to COVID, and in that process, COVID hit, changed a lot of things, and it was time to come back and revisit that discussion. So last week, the city did host a zoning exploration workshop. There was some interest, and we will be going back to revisit that. The budget will wrap up, approval of the budget and approval of the tax rate by the end of August, and then I think the council will have the time to focus their discussion and priority on this topic. And then I want to mention one of our newest initiatives, and again, we want to thank the Sealy Economic Development Corporation Board, who has agreed to take on the Keep Sealy Beautiful Board as an affiliate of the Keep Texas Beautiful program, with the focus areas of primarily litter prevention and litter cleanup, partnering with other organizations and volunteers, and community beautification. Catherine, I believe you're going to be working with TxDOT on their Green Ribbon program to look at making some landscape improvements throughout the city. And we're very excited to see this take off and the end results. I think the plan with that particular initiative is to get it started and then be able to hand it over to a local nonprofit that would have an interest of maintaining it once it's established and up and running. And before we close, there are two things that the mayor asked me to read. The next one is a history of excellence, a future of progress, our roots. Right enough that others value our work, old-fashioned enough to treasure customs of the past and learn from those before us, open enough to accept constructive criticism, tall enough to rise above the selfishness and deceit, and strong enough to treasure the love of God, family, and friends. That one kind of put goosebumps on me because being born and raised here and raising my children in the area, it's something that I'm very proud of, who we are. The people I see sitting here that we grew up together and we're raising our children together, and you're opening your businesses in Sealy, just how grateful I am to have the privilege and honor of serving you as the city manager. And the last is the vision, the VIPs, growing with purpose. Vibrant, inclusive, prosperous, sustainable. Mayor asks that we just leave this up for the remainder of the meeting today, just to keep our hearts and our minds focused on the goals and what we can do together, supporting one another. Thank you all. Now, I hope you're enjoying your lunch. I hope you took the time to get up. And if you have any questions, I can answer, or you can stop by and see me, or email me, whatever you'd like to do.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Did a great job.
What is the biggest challenge you're looking forward to overcoming this year?
Hey, let's get you on a mic.
What is the biggest challenge we're looking forward to overcoming this year? Deferred maintenance across the board for infrastructure and facilities.
Great.
Anybody else? Anyone? All right. Well, thank you, Kimber.
Thank you.